Good morning, friends. In this series of competitive English or general English, we are continuing with a certain error finding. Well, before we go for the explanation of the questions that I have just given the morning, what is actually the clue for error finding? See, as a teacher, I would advise all the students, whether they're in class 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, or any competitive aspirants, they should learn every day 5 to 6 typical, error finding, particularly error in certain grammatical items, specifying. For example, today's, error has been focused on the common error that particularly we find in the writing section by the students. They often commit mistake because they are not aware of such sentences. Like the sentence number 1 is that his assistants have and are still doing excellent work for the organization. His assistants have. After you have spoken the word his assistants have, certainly one verb is missing. So our assistants have done. So the verb in different forms, in different clauses can be used together. This is the rule. Rule number 1. We can use different forms of verb in the same sentence, in different clauses or in different parts of the sentence to tell different things at a time. For example, first part of the sentence should be his assistants have done, that is present perfect, and are still doing, present continuous, excellent work for the rest. For example, you can say that we have done several assignments in physics and are still doing some of the left out question paper. So we are using present perfect and present continuous in the same sentence at the same time. So we can use different forms of the verb in the same sentence at the same time while talking different activities at one time. For example, you can say that India has progressed in the field of software and are still making a marked progress in software by importing a lot of softwares to the other countries. So are doing wonderful jobs, have done wonderful job. The child has performed well and is performing still better. In all the aspects of his learning. So we can use present perfect or any other tense together while talking about different activities at the same time. Next question is, the company is not doing well. Isn't it time? Isn't it time you should sell off your share in it? See, the structure, it is time. It is a very common structure that is in spoken English, but we often do not understand that this kind of sentence always comes in the structure. It is time plus subject plus V2 plus object plus complement. We will use V2 in place of V1. So the right answer will be, is it time you should sold, you should, no, it is time, yeah, isn't time you should sell off the share in it. The correct answer should be, company is not doing well, so isn't time you should sold off. You sold off. Instead of sell off, it should be you sold off. The V2 form of the verb will be used. So the structure will be subject plus V2 plus subject plus complement. It is time you should worked. You should work on the project. It is time you should made complete programming of the project. It is time you should calculated or you calculated. It is time you calculated the whole expenses of the project. It is time you meant what you said. It is time you decided to go abroad. It is time you plan to go abroad. So it will be V2 after subject. Always use V2 with the sentence like it is time. It is time you corrected this sentence. It is time you rectified your behavior. It is time you mended your behavior. Always V2 will be used. He caught the boy, still the parcel. Actually, there are structures whenever you are using a finite verb in the first part of the sentence and immediately after you use the finite, a non-finite should come either in the form of infinitive or in the form of gerund. So the right answer will be, now you caught the boy stealing the parcel. So here caught is the finite verb and stealing is a non-finite, that is gerund. You caught the boy stealing the parcel. You made the boy laugh. You made the boy calculate the mathematical, mathematical work. You helped the boy solve the question. You helped the boy mend the ways. You made the boy do the work. She made the boy do all his assignment. She helped us solve all the questions. So whenever you are using a finite verb, immediately after that you will use either an infinitive or a gerund. Like he made me solve all the questions. She made her solve all the questions. He asked her do all the questions. They bade him goodbye. They helped him go through all the question answers. They help him explain all the question answers, like that. So whenever a subject comes in the finite form, whenever subject comes after subject a finite verb comes, immediately after that a non-finite will come, and non-finite can be either infinitive or a gerund. Like she made me do the calculation, he made me work on the project, he made me do all my work easily, he facilitated me solve all the questions, like that. So I'm sure these 3-4 structures will help you understand error finding. Thank you. Have a nice day ahead.